1964 and public education in the South. And we're talking to Dr. KSanford. And of course, Dr. Sanford, as we promised during the second segment, that we would give you an opportunity to talk about some other aspects of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and public education in the South. And let's give you an opportunity to do that now.
Okay, and I thank you again. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was very instrumental in trying to allow equal access, equal opportunity. And that brings us to the whole issue of the importance of our students today, family members, to understanding this act and the whole history behind it. We find that at our institutions of higher learning that many are entering and they are not recognizing this act, they're not recognizing what went on during the Civil Rights Movement. Why? Because they were born in the 80s. And that to them is the past. I think we have an obligation to allow our students, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of social class, to know about the history of America and the importance of all of these acts and that occurred throughout the history of America. It's so important. And of course, I make an effort to do that in all of my classes. We will review, if you will, Eyes on the Prize, to give them some historical backdrop of what went on during the Civil Rights Movement so that they can get a feel that they have certain freedoms that other people had to really fight for, protest for, and give up, in many instances, their lives for. So it's very important educationally. This act also allowed us to have certain types of equal opportunities within the labor force, which I always try to share with them, and I think there's a misperception, misinformation in many instances about how this led to a dialogue, if you will, of affirmative action, and how affirmative action is something that was put into place that would allow equal access. But I hear many people, when I watch talk shows, very well educated, probably well-meaning people, that are really giving it a bad name. They would use words like quotas or set-asides, or they would use something like preferences. And this is not what affirmative action is. It wasn't set there for that reason. Because of that historical backdrop that we've already talked about, many people, just by human nature, would not ever think about being equal or think about being fair because we've grown up in a society that was totally unfair. If I may cite very quickly, Alex de Tocqueville, he has an excellent piece entitled Democracy in America. And in that philosophical piece, he indicates very strongly, as he visited America, wanting to look at our penal system, and as he traveled from New York through the Deep South, he could not imagine what he saw. People of African descent, that's right, people of African descent all shackled up. And he said that this has been going on for hundreds of years, that we would never reach a true democracy. And that is why these acts are there for us to know about so that we can continue to fight for equality. You see, if we have that historical backdrop of inequality, and it's been there for such a long period of time, it is actually embedded within the mindset of the culture of America. And that's why we always have to have people who are sensitive to it, educated about it, and that's why a policy such as affirmative action is indeed still needed today. And we have other organizations indeed that really make an effort to try to make some fairness, some justice there, such as the NAACP. They are nonpartisan. They are just trying to fight for equal rights. And I think if you would talk with them, they'd say, we would like to abolish that organization tomorrow if things were equal, the Urban League. And one of my associations, the Association of Social and Behavioral Sciences, but we've always had a number of scholars who've been a part of that, trying to bring about social change within the society in which we live in, taking a Du Bois model. And before ending this whole idea of affirmative action, helping with this equal access, we have to be very clear that it's there just to give equal access. And not tokenism, where you take a qualified person and then just place them from place to place and remove other people